But when you've made an error that was obvious, the day after, it frustrates me a little bit. Waking up knowing that, Time Is On My Side was second, beat What a Neck, and ended up placed fifth because of something I did. Not to mention that I interfered with Kurt's horse and Aaron's horse. Those are things that bother you the day after. Now I'll get over it as the day goes on. I got a busy day ahead of me, and I've already somewhat turned the page, but it just sticks with you for the first part of the morning. And it's not the greatest way to wake up, to be honest. It's the exact opposite of doing something right and winning, literally. Anyway, yesterday, I think the entire day was, well, to say it was disappointing would be a gross understatement. We really had high hopes for Save America going in. This horse had raced great for us all along. He had a bit of a hiccup last start 2 weeks ago, which we had fixed. Jason and I talked about it when I got to the track last night. He said, he trained good. We even scoped him after he trained. Scoped good. So I guess we'll wait and see what his blood comes back like. I was going to say I suspect there'll be something there, but I'm not sure. There's always that tipping point, when a horse is a little bit tired. There's always that tipping point where it becomes obvious, right? You don't often just see that. We did with Rock Shining Star, where you saw that little slide backward, give him 3 weeks off, and away you go. You've never seen that. You don't often see that race good, flat, and then flat is next start. It's not always the way. In fact, it's not very often you see it happen like that. Which does give me pause that maybe there is something in his blood. I have no idea, but we're going to find out very, very soon. We'll know tomorrow. And Greatest Ending, I don't, obviously I suspect Stacy will draw his blood. Just historically speaking, we know that he can tie up quite easy. We know his liver jumps sometimes. But frankly, when you see a horse third over with the favorite on the front going pretty solid fractions, the cover stalls, both first over and second over, you get stacked 4 wide in the last turn on a 5/8 mile track. Well, unless you are able to overcome that in attack, that's how the race goes. So I don't really know if anything went wrong with Greatest Ending other than the trip last night. Save America got a great trip. Greatest Ending got a great trip. Time Is On My Side got a great trip. I just had to cheat a little bit to get there, I guess. And certainly nothing wrong with Time as far as running out in the straightaway. He's done that many, many times before. Problem is, you start putting stuff on the outside, he starts running in the turns, and then you get in trouble. So I've seen this with him before. His feet bug him a little bit. The track was hard last night. Left front ankle bothers him a little bit. And I think it's fed from that right hind ankle that bothers him. These are minor things. You would never be able to look at this horse, watch him walk, watch him jog, and say, there's something just not right there. These are just miniature things that we know about with him. So the game plan's simple. He'll either go to Miami Valley or Northfield next week. I suspect Miami Valley. I don't love him on a half. And you never want to race horses. The horses like Night Shadow. Burke has so many horses, he has to place them somewhere. Night Shadow is designated for Northfield, and for obvious reasons. And other horses, Later Dudes, he might have showed up at the Meadows, but designated to Miami Valley. And we beat Later Dudes last week at the Meadows, and he was a contender last night in the Open at Miami Valley. So it's not like Time Is On My Side can't do. He absolutely can do. He's going to waltz in there at about 5-1, depending on where he draws, and I'm sure he'll do fine. And that's where he should race. I know Tim and Sophie love the horse, and I love having them with the horse. They take great care of him. But when you're looking at an open pacer, you should be racing in the place for the most money. Now, Yonkers, I was trying my best to stay away from Yonkers because it's a bit of a shark tank. And the only thing that yesterday showed me is that the Borgata is probably out of the question for Time Is On My Side, which doesn't concern me in the least. I'm looking at his schedule yesterday, and there is a ton of big money for him and Arson. Well, Arson, it's not hard to look at Arson's list. I thought it was going to be difficult. I'm looking at, okay, what about this one? What about this one? I looked, I said, well, Grove, Kentucky, Corbin, possibly Gold Cup and Saucer. It's all right there. Now, do we work some other stakes into Arson and Casey can't do in Kentucky, because the 4-year-old division is just the 4-year-old division. You either can do in there or you cannot do in there. And I would hate to have him just stake to the 4-year-old Kentucky division only to find out that he's not quite good enough. So these are things that are going to be rattling around in my head today. I will turn the page from last night. Probably a drink. We'll do that, a coffee. And then start focusing on what's ahead of me and what I have to do. I have to go to the barn today and go with a number of horses. Not a number. I think 3 that we have kind of designated we need to work on over the next week. Megan's lucky day, going out the door and bouncing around a little bit on the track. It's just an Uncle Peter thing. Really, she's the only one that jumps to the top of the list. I can't think of any more, but I'm sure Amy will have a couple of additional horses for me. But first and foremost, this week, get the staking done over the next 2-3 days. So that's what I'll be working on. So, now, as I said, not the day we wanted yesterday, but there's always today. And interested to see Drebin, Mounds for All, and JK Victory race today at various tracks. We have Miami Valley with JK Victory, and we have Ontario with our other 2. Tuesday, Wednesday will be pretty heavy for our horses. 4 or 5 horses in Tuesday, 4 or 5 again in on Wednesday at Northfield Park. I know we have a couple of horses in at the Meadows also. They're drawing today for Thursday at the Meadows. We're going to have a pretty full slate throughout the rest of the week as we start to get our horses now ready to go. Very eager also to see Blue Ventura and Foxy Seaside racing in Ontario this week. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go get a drink, bring one back for Amy, load you your video, and continue on with my day. So with that, take care. Have a great Monday, you out there, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Weather's not bad. It says 19, but I think it's going up to almost, got to be going up to almost freezing, no? I think it will. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great Monday.